For more than half a century, the voice of Sam Elliott has moved quietly through American cinema like a slow wind across open land. Deep, calm, and unmistakable, it is the kind of voice that makes people pause without quite knowing why. Audiences often associate him with strength and steady presence, men who speak less but mean more when they do. Yet the legend we see today was not built overnight. His journey through Hollywood was not the familiar story of instant discovery or early stardom. For many years, he was simply the actor almost chosen, the face directors remembered but could not quite place. Roles passed him by, and the spotlight favored others who seemed safer at the time. But Elliott stayed. Slowly, patiently, his career took shape, much like the landscapes his characters often inhabit, formed by time, persistence, and a quiet refusal to disappear. A childhood, shaped by quiet expectations. Sam Elliott was born on August 9, 1944, in Sacramento. His father, Henry Nelson Elliott, worked for the California Department of Fish and Game, a practical man who valued stability and hard work. His mother, Glenna Sue Elliott, brought warmth and balance to the household. On the surface, it was a steady, ordinary upbringing, but like many families of that era, emotions were often kept quiet. Henry believed deeply in practical careers and dependable paths. Acting, to him, seemed uncertain and unrealistic. Sam, meanwhile, was drawn to stories and characters long before he fully understood why. As a boy, he watched Western films and sensed something powerful in the performances. But that dream lived quietly inside him. In a home where approval was rarely spoken aloud, young Sam learned early that some ambitions would have to grow without encouragement. The move that changed his perspective. When Sam was 13, his family moved to Portland. The shift from California to Oregon introduced him to a different rhythm of life. Portland's gray skies and surrounding forests offered a sense of quiet that he had not experienced before. As a teenager, Elliott was tall and somewhat awkward, still growing into the strong features that would later define his screen presence. School was not where he stood out. Instead, he found comfort in the outdoors, the hills, the trails, the wide spaces where expectations seemed to fade. Nature gave him a kind of calm that classrooms rarely did. Those quiet landscapes also shaped the grounded presence audiences would later recognize in his performances. Long before Hollywood knew his name, the foundations of the man he would become were forming quietly in those Oregon years. A dream that met resistance. While attending the University of Oregon, Elliott finally faced the question that would define his future. He realized that acting was not simply an interest. It was something he genuinely wanted to pursue. Telling his father was difficult. Henry believed strongly in stable professions, and the idea of his son chasing an acting career seemed unrealistic. The disagreement between them was not loud or dramatic, but it was deeply felt. Elliott eventually transferred to Clark College, trying to find a balance between practicality and ambition. He worked jobs like surveying land, briefly stepping toward the kind of career his father understood. Yet the pull toward acting remained. Some callings are persistent in quiet ways. For Elliott, the dream kept returning, asking to be taken seriously. Arriving in Hollywood with almost nothing. In the mid-1960s, Sam Elliott moved to Los Angeles. He did not arrive with connections or guarantees. What he had instead was determination and a belief that he owed it to himself to try. Hollywood in that era was not welcoming to outsiders, especially those who did not fit the industry's preferred image. Elliott was different. His voice was deeper than most young actors. His style was calm rather than flashy. For years, he took whatever work he could find, small roles, commercials, background appearances. He waited tables and parked cars to pay the bills. Each audition carried hope, even when the answer was no. These early years were not glamorous. They were uncertain and often exhausting, but they built something important inside him: patience and the understanding that careers sometimes grow slowly. Years of small roles and quiet learning. Through the late 1960s and 1970s, Elliott appeared in small parts on television shows like Gunsmoke, Mission Impossible, and Lancer. These appearances were brief, often just a scene or two, but they kept him working and learning. He also appeared briefly in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, sharing the screen with stars like Paul Newman and Robert Redford. The role was small, yet it offered a glimpse into the world he hoped to belong to someday. For nearly 2 decades, Elliott existed in this space, visible but not widely recognized. Still, every set became a classroom. He watched experienced actors closely and refined his own approach. By the time bigger opportunities appeared, he had already spent years mastering the quiet discipline of his craft. A love story that grew slowly. During the filming of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Elliott briefly met actress Katharine Ross, known for her role in The Graduate. At the time, their interaction was short and unremarkable. Nearly a decade later, they reunited while working on The Legacy. This time, their connection deepened. Ross was already a recognized star, while Elliott was still building his career. Yet their relationship developed naturally and without rush. They spent years getting to know each other before marrying in 1984. Their daughter, Cleo Rose Elliott, was born the same year. In an industry known for short-lived relationships, their partnership quietly endured. Away from cameras and publicity, they built a steady life together, one grounded in mutual respect and patience, much like Elliott's approach to his career. The role that made people look twice. By the late 1980s, audiences began noticing Elliott more clearly. His role as Wade Garrett in Roadhouse introduced him to a wider audience. The character carried a calm authority that felt authentic. Suddenly, viewers were asking the same question: who is that actor? It was not a sudden explosion of fame, but rather a shift in recognition. Elliott's presence on screen had weight. He could hold attention with a few lines and a steady gaze. That ability soon led to stronger roles in films like Tombstone, where he played Virgil Earp alongside Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer. His performance helped ground the story, adding realism and emotional balance to the film. A life that continues with purpose. Even in later years, Sam Elliott continues to work thoughtfully. His role in the television series 1883, part of the world created by Taylor Sheridan, reminded audiences again of his unique presence. As Shay Brennan, a weary but determined guide leading settlers across dangerous land, Elliott delivered a performance filled with quiet emotion and realism. The role earned him further praise and an Emmy nomination. Yet beyond awards and recognition, Elliott seems most comfortable in the simple routines of life, spending time with his family, walking along the Malibu coastline, and choosing projects that genuinely interest him. After decades in the spotlight, he remains the same kind of actor he has always been: patient, grounded, and unmistakably himself. The legacy of patience and authenticity. The story of Sam Elliott is not only about Hollywood success, it is about patience, persistence, and the courage to remain authentic even when recognition comes slowly. His journey reminds us that meaningful careers often grow quietly over time. While others may rise quickly and fade just as fast, Elliott built something steadier, a reputation for honesty in every role he plays. Today, his voice, his presence, and his decades of work continue to influence generations of actors and audiences alike. More importantly, his life shows that success does not always belong to the fastest or loudest voices. Sometimes it belongs to the people who simply keep going, who trust their path even when the world takes time to notice. And when the world finally does look, it often discovers that the quiet strength was there all along,